Willkommen zu Mac for Musicians, dem Internet-TV-Magazin für Musiker. Wir hatten Gelegenheit, eine hausinterne Produktpräsentation bei Alesis auf Video aufzuzeichnen. Aus der Dokumentation haben wir die wichtigsten Auszüge für Sie aufbereitet. Der folgende Beitrag stellt die Alesis Master Control vor. Das ist ein professionelles Firewire Audio Interface mit übersichtlichem DAW-Controller und Audio Monitoring System.
Introduce myself, I'm Jim Norman. I'm the product manager for Alesis. Product managers at our company basically are the people, we have a division and we have our product lines, and I work in the Los Angeles engineering office. We're going to talk about the master control. So let me kind of preface everything and then I'll give you a short demo of how it works and functions. Number all, it's a Firewire audio interface mixed with a control surface. And there has been other products similar to this that have already been out there. When I was researching on developing this thing, I tried to see where the holes were for the other parts of the market. One of the biggest problems is price. When the thing costs $1,500 or $2,000, there's a barrier to entry for a lot of people. The idea is it's a solution for a lot of project studios, I should say, that want a high-quality interface, but they also want a control surface, and they also want a monitoring system built into it. Because a lot of times they give you those two things, the Firewire interface and the control surface, but there's no way to set up monitoring. It's kind of, you have to go buy this extra product. So here's my top 5 on it. We Americans like to number things. Start with it's a complete studio interface for your recording software. It's an audio interface. It goes up to 192 kilohertz. It's 24-bit, just like our IO26. It's also HUI compatible. Does everyone know what HUI means? Who would like to volunteer to tell me what that stands for?
Interface. Human user.
Exactly.
Interface.
Human user interface, which was developed by Mackie to talk to Pro Tools like 12 years ago or so. And that's become a standard. But we also added, beyond being able to be HUI compatible, to make those control surface settings also adjustable to the user. So you're not stuck with just what someone determined for you. It is programmable. We also want to be able to use this not only just to talk to DOS, but maybe I want to use it as a reactor controller, or I want to use it for Reason, which doesn't talk HUI. We want to send CCs. So we can do that as well. And the other thing is putting a thing like a talkback microphone in. So when the guitar player is down the hall in the bathroom and you need to tell them to turn it down, you don't have to get up and open the door and yell down the hall. You can just press the button. He goes into his headphones and says, hey, turn it down. You're too hot. You can do that. Plus a Q-Mix setup that allows us to check our mix in different kinds of speakers without having to buy an external box. This comes with Steinberg Cubase LE4. This will work with other DAWs. We plan to support all the major DAWs. It is Pro Tools compatible as a controller. So if you want to use this as a HUI compatible controller for Pro Tools, yes, it will work. We have 900mm motorized faders. They're all touch sensitive, as well as 8 360 pots, 2 banks of assignable buttons we have on the front panel allow us to select different things for different things in different interfaces. Maybe it'll be a marker. Maybe it'll be something that calls up the EQ screen. Maybe it's something that brings up the mixer screen or change your track view, depending on the software you're working with and if they respond to that call through HUI protocol. And then, of course, we have our templates. So I'm a Cubase guy, but I want to swap over to Pro Tools. I can pop a different template on here, and I know what my knobs do right ahead of time. We also have a preview button, because one of the things I found, and I kind of got frustrated, if I wanted to see what I was about to send through a knob, I could always hold down preview, turn a knob, and it tells me what it's going to be adjusting. So it doesn't send it out, it just shows it on the display for me to tell me what it's going to be. Our talkback mic and our control-based Q-Mix setup, and then of course Cubase LE, as well as working with other DAWs. You can see the back panel. Of course, the light here is kind of weird, but this comes standard with 2 mic line inputs with inserts as well as fan and power, and then the remaining line inputs. So there's 6 line TRS inputs. We can do up to 8. I think it's 8 channels, 192. Of course, with 2 ADAT light pipe inputs, this allows us to add another 16 channels of digital inputs. ADAT light pipe is the standard in the industry for moving digital audio. So we're able to use this so we can move another 16 channels of 44 up to 48 or SMUX up to 96 to get higher end audio if we want 96K recording. Then of course one SPDIF input, MIDI in as well as MIDI out. You can see up there we have 6 TRS outputs, and that corresponds to our QMix functionality. So on the front panel here we have an ABC switch. That means I can have pair A, pair B, pair C on, or all simultaneously. So if I want to check between my NS10s, my Aratones, my Genlex, I can switch between my monitors and hear how the mix sounds. I can also just set it up to do 5.1 and just simply run out all my 6 inputs into a 5.1 speaker system and listen to my mix that way. So you can configure this output set. Oh yeah, also on this, just like the IO26, we have 2 headphone outs which can have discrete mixes per output. So you want to set it up for one person to hear more of their vocal, the other person not to hear any of the vocal. You can set that. This is the control section here, so that what I'm working with here on is DAW. I have my zoom, jog, data wheel for I can set this up to work with as my transport controls. Kind of very ergonomically laid out. And it's going to be available this winter. I'll be completely honest, it's very delayed. The reason being is we made an engineering decision to make some improvements, which screw up our schedule, but it's better to have the product right than have it on time. So I've got a little project running right now. I'm using the transports to move around. Just basically I can step through here. If we want to zoom up, we can go through here, zoom down the tracks or zoom up into our waveform some more. So it completely sends the commands to where we want to be, check our audio where we're at. If I want to change my view or want to see, let's see, my mixer, I can bring up the mixer and I move my faders. You can see that they're being moved over right in real time. Here, if I want to enable read-write automation, I can set that up here with the customizable buttons that are on the top panel here. So I can either have it for read-write global, and as well as my project window. I can even set it up if I want to see my, I don't have a VST set up right now for the EQ, but I can bring up that window and check it. But all these things are adjustable. As I'm on my mixer, as I reach over, hit select, or if I turn a knob, it knows to go to that channel and I'm adjusting my information for my pan. Sorry, it's a little dark on the screen here. But that's really pretty much it. So you can easily come through and set it up. You want to arm a track, you've got your select, you've got record, solo, mute per track. You want to shift over to your next bunch of tracks, you just turn the knob and you're now on the next second 8. You can select it either by individual track or by groups of 8 in terms of where you want to be, for where your levels are on your faders. So you can see here, you can kind of see the lights changing. Faders going to where they're going. And then of course I can see my monitoring level here. I can change my monitor outside. I don't have anything else plugged in right now. And then if I'm back here on my audio project, turn that off, and I zoom up. You can also jog your audio across the audio track and make your changes there. Yep, there we go. Came back on me. But it's most of the functionality is pretty clear. What the average user wants to do, instead of using a mouse and having to go on a screen and going up there, you can very quickly just come up there, look at your tracks, set your levels, jump back, you're done. If you want to see your input level coming on the inputs, you just hit this button, and now you can set your channel gains coming in. So you have signal clip lights here that show you where you are and your levels coming in, and that sets that for your 8 inputs coming in. Get it back, now you're back to your regular project, and you've got your regular levels set up.
Yeah.